Hey everybody, welcome back to the Arthritis Solution. It's Dr. Chacos with you, and today I'm going to talk to you about subluxation degeneration. And this is such an important part of understanding not only arthritis, spinal degeneration, but also spinal health and what interferes with your body's ability to self-heal. So first, let's have a quick look at this poster, and hopefully you can see this well enough and this visually makes sense to you. So the first thing is, we know you can see here the normal curves of the spine. This is so important. These are called the arc of life, and they're all specific curves because they are necessary to disperse forces from your spine so that you actually prevent degenerative change. If you lose these curves, and we'll go through this in a moment, if you lose these curves, you put extra force on joints. Those extra forces wear the joints quicker, create tension in the spine, and the nervous system is altered, and the body's ability to function, the structure is altered, and therefore the body's ability to heal is interfered with, and that is how a degeneration cycle begins. So in the curve, this is called a cervical lordosis. That is the natural arc there. This is called a thoracic kyphosis, and this is your lumbar lordosis, and all of those curves, as I said, are natural. When you look at the x-ray, you can see that it actually creates that curve. If it straightens like this, and by the way, you can observe some people that if they're like, I was trying to do it. If you've seen people with their spine like that, you know they've got a kyphosis and a lordosis problem. But overall, a chiropractor can look and observe and see that a person may have this, but you may not know this, and the way to uncover whether you have this is to take an x-ray. So if you see here in the neck, the bone goes slightly whiter when it starts to degenerate, and it straightens as the first stage of spinal degeneration or subluxation degeneration. We'll talk more about that word in a moment. Then not only does it straighten, but it produces bone spurs, and the discs begin to narrow. That's more advanced degenerative change. Early degenerative change, moderate degenerative change, advanced degenerative change, it just looks like an absolute mess. All the bones start to coalesce together. They're the people that walk around and you see that they can't move properly, they can't lift their heads, they're stuck over in that posture. So we obviously want to avoid the advanced degenerative changes in our spine. The same is true down here. You have this beautiful curve, and then the curve can, as I said, round and increase, and that starts to put pressure on the bones. Bone spurs happen and develop again, the discs can narrow, and the bones can start to fuse together. The same is true down here in the lower back. It can straighten. In fact, sometimes the lower back bows a lot more when people lose their abdominal control, and there's this big arching, and then the spaces are narrow between the discs. So this poster is something I use in my practice to help people understand what their spine should look like, what it can look like if it's degenerating, if there's arthritic change, and what that means for their health, for their ability to function. Because once you start losing your natural curves, not only do you put more pressure on the spine, you often experience pain or soreness or restriction, your mobility decreases, your range of motion is limited, and when the pain starts to become more accelerated because there are bone spurs, you can get nerve changes, you can get pins and needles in your hand. People say when they sleep, their hands are numb when they wake in the morning, and they might have lower back sciatica or tingling and pins and needles. All of those can be signs that there is more advanced degenerative changes taking place. So this is such a valuable poster, and what I might just do is ask the camera person just to zoom in to give you a closer look at all of those as we wrap up this educational video, so you can really see that the spine should look positive and healthy all on those left side, but when they don't, we've got degeneration, and the chiropractor would use the term subluxation. Subluxation implies that there is nerve interference, structural interference, functional interference, specific areas where there is damage to the normal operations of how the spine is meant to function and how the nervous system communicates. And when we identify those, we investigate that through both our observational skills, our mechanical movement of the spine, and doing testing on people, orthopedic testing and the neurological testing, we get a picture of where the subluxation might be, and that may or may not correlate with the degenerative or arthritic changes. And when we put all of that together into a picture, we have a subluxation degeneration model of your spine. We know why what's happening is happening, what to do about it, and we can put you on the path to restoring function, mobility, and allowing the body to self-heal. So wanted to share with you a little bit of x-ray information so you can know whether or not you need to get an x-ray check to uncover whether or not you have some degeneration. Far better to uncover this early because there's much more work needing done if you go down this pathway. So go to your chiropractor, get checked, get an x-ray, uncover the truth so that you can make a decision to move in the direction of healing, repair, regeneration, and reclaiming your mobility, your activity, your freedom, your independence, and that is the Arthritis Solution.